Good morning, everybody. It is Morgan coming to you live with the Gospel of Two Wheels, number 81. I really hope you guys all find me over here. I'm sure you will because you're awesome like that. I botched the live stream schedule thing. I think I did it on my phone and it wouldn't let me control it here on the computer. So I am going to give everybody a moment to do this. I'm going to actually, while we're talking here, I don't know who's there. I see two people are here, which obviously is low. But I'm going to do this while we're sitting here getting this going. I'm going to make a post on Facebook of where it is now. There we go. Hey, Jimmy Nair, what's happening? Hey, Mom, how's it going? I'm making a Facebook post because I kind of forgot to, and I did this all on my phone, and it messed up. Bryce Davis, what's happening, dude? Let's see. This is Welcome to Technology. Sorry, guys. There we go. Right now. There we go. Publish. All right. Sorry, guys. Paul Antsy, how's it going? Sorry for the confusion. Like I said, I was trying to streamline the process of scheduling all this, and I think I botched that. So apologize for the confusion. Hopefully you guys all find me over here. How's everybody doing? Welcome to the Gospel of Two Wheels, number 81, where the coffee is hot this morning, which is good. And the bikes are fast, and the comments are absolutely ridiculous. And you guys are super awesome. It's great to see everybody here. Conditions report is gray and gray and stormy looking, but it's warmer than it has been for the last few days. It was like crazy cold. Like 2 mornings ago, it was like 18 or 19 down here in town. It was crazy. YouTube was slow and syncing. Well, I hope it syncs up. I'm hooked up high speed internet here, I believe. Let's just check that. Ooh, not as high speed as I could be. There we go. Hopefully we're back. Reconnecting. It's going to be faster. There we go. Back on. Awesome. So, craziness. Sorry, guys. Not the smoothest live show I've ever produced. Also, low numbers probably because of my ridiculousness. Anyway, those of you who are here, awesome to see you. We're going to soldier on anyway, so we're going to do our thing. Today, we're going to talk about OEM versus aftermarket. And I have a lot of opinions about that because, I mean, I know Roger Hurd is probably going to jump on here and he's going to say OEM. And I would agree in a lot of cases that is definitely the best way to go. How's it going? Can you guys see my chat? Chime in, please, if you're here. Let me know you're here. Hopefully everything is all working again. It's not been the best morning. And I apologize for that. I'm going to do a chat. There we go. Hopefully that works. We're building our numbers. That's awesome. Oh, again, apologize. I've been up since 3:15, 3:30. So that's not awesome. Couldn't sleep, but I got up, edited the schlog. So hopefully you guys like that. I think it's going to be a good one. We actually had a lot of fun yesterday at the shop. It was pretty funny. Like I said, if you're watching and you can hear all this going on and everything's working, send me a hello on the chat so I know that you guys are able to do that. Yeah, again, apologize. I love you. Anyway, let's talk about OEM versus aftermarket. Let me start with that it's dependent like on a case by case basis for the bike, right? So, for instance, Honda CRF 450s, 250s from '01 to '08, arguably the OEM valves were junk. And they weren't junk valves, they were fine valves, but they were titanium. The coating on them didn't hold up well to any kind of abuse. There may have been something going on with the cylinder head. I don't know. But either way, they weren't great and they would wear out super fast. So the Kibble White stainless valves were a whole lot better. And those are aftermarket. So let's see. I know I see that you guys are watching, but I don't see any chats going on. I don't know what is going on there. Let me see. If I can. So I see it looks like Paul and my mom are the only people on chat, but I don't know if that's the case. Let's see if I pop it out, if that will work. Hey, there we go, guys. All right. I'm fixing it. I am so sorry. There we go. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Okay, let's go back and let's say hi to everybody. I'm sorry, guys. Dirt Rider 83, Jimmy Neihart, Bowman Film, Brian Wishman, Mike Barnato, Clark Hess, No Pro Heroes, What is Happening? Craig Hamilton, my mom there, she's saying everybody hit the like button, do it. Okay, we're good. Roger Hurd, stock is best. I knew you were going to say it. Depends on the part. Good answer. Keith McQueen, what's happening? Scott Gross, Matt Andres. Okay, I feel like we're good to go. Everybody's good. Roger, I know. So here's the thing about what's Rob McCauley. I'm getting here a little late too. I mean, I technically was here on time, but I completely botched this morning's live feed. I was up at 3:15, 3:30 because I couldn't sleep. So I edited the schlog. I got a bunch of stuff done. And then I went back to sleep because I was just beat down. Barnato, I got my coffee. Again, thanks to Kevin O'Loughlin for my awesome Dirt Bikes mug, which has my YZ250 on it. I'm so psyched. And so I went back to sleep. I woke back up. Anyway, Brett Bartlett, what's happening? Hi from Colorado Springs. How is Colorado Springs right now? Jimmy Neihart Aftermarket YouTubes for sure. Okay, I feel better. I at least know that you guys are talking to me, and that makes me happier. And we're up to 28 people. Awesome. But only 9 likes. So come on, hit that like button, guys. Limey Bastard, what's happening? Thank you again for the coffee, the Arbuckles coffee. I'm so stoked. Like I said in the schlog, my wife actually got me some Arbuckles coffee when she was in Tucson a few months ago for work. So thank you so much. That's awesome. That's what we're having at the shop right now. And so that's great. Okay, back to aftermarket versus OEM. For instance, Honda valves, tie valves in the 01 to 08, they didn't last very long. You could argue all kinds of reasons why, but the reality is they did not hold up well to normal user use. Yeah, Keith, sometimes on your phone you have to like turn it sideways or upside. Like, anyway, you might have to turn it to portrait mode instead of landscape mode. But like I said, you can go back and forth as to why they would wear out, but they did. And if you put stainless steel Kibble White valves in there and cut the seats and all that, they were awesome. Here we go. Brett Bartlett, what about two-stroke pistons? Is Wiseco versus KTM? So here's my thing about that. That's a great question. I really don't like Wiseco pistons. I've not had really good luck. And I don't know if it's because they're thicker and they see, I don't know what's going on with Wisecos, but I don't like Wisecos. I like Vertex pistons. Vertex pistons are, that's an interesting one because KTM uses Vertex pistons in their two strokes from the factory. I mean, if you take it apart and look at it, it says Vertex right on the bottom of the piston. So it's both, but you can buy it in a Vertex box for less than you can buy it in an orange box. So I like Vertex pistons. I also put my Vertex pistons in my Yamahas because I feel like they hold up better than stock Yamaha. So it definitely goes back and forth. Yeah, Craig Hamilton, Seasco. I wasn't going to say it, but thank you for saying it. Let's see. Okay, there we go. Everybody's explaining. You got to get out of the chat. Anything other than OEM has let me down. Half the price, half the life. Fair enough, Jimmy. Another exception to that rule, though, and it all depends on the bike, right? Like, I would argue that KTM uses some of the highest quality OEM stuff for sure, and they work great. But like Yamaha clutch baskets, OEM clutch baskets are terrible. They wear out super fast. So I like something better, either Henson or something like that, Barnett, things like that. No Pro, I hope it doesn't seize on me. You'll probably be fine, No Pro Heroes. It seems like their 4-stroke pistons are actually a lot better than their 2-stroke pistons. You'll be all right. I just don't love Weisskos. I've not had good luck. So Limey, yes, when should I repack my muffler? Number of hours. It really depends on how rich or lean you are running your mixture, both oil mixture and then also your carburation mixture, because they fill up with spooge faster if you run richer or you're not on the gas as much or whatever. So for me on packing, I wait till they start to sound funny and then I repack it. Keith McQueen, Pro X. Honestly, I have never used Pro X pistons. I've used their valves and had good luck with their valves. Rob McCully, Weisskos sound like a can full of marbles till you get them warm and they expand. Fair enough. Michael Barnado, spooge. Transmission oil really clogs packing fast. There you go. Bryce Davis says what I said about that. Let's see. Fallout. Okay. Right. Yeah. Okay. I'm moving on here. It said forged versus cast, Matt. Good question. Cast or lighter, forged, or maybe depending on the forging process, could be a little stronger. They talk about how forged pistons are more brittle here, although I've seen with other manufacturers forged pistons be good. Honestly, I just like the Vertex cast pistons for 2 strokes, and then in the 4 strokes, I think those are forged and they don't have any problems. Okay, Craig Hamilton. Most Pro X pistons are made by ART. They make the Japanese OEM pistons. Right on. Rob McCauley. Okay, Brett, I'll get to that in a second. Rob has a good thing. Cast don't expand as much. That is true because there's less material there. The cast, anyway, they don't get as big. That's why Weissko pistons are. That's why they call them Seascos. That's why you have to drill holes in them and all the stuff to keep them from expanding too much and seizing in the thing. So, here we go. Jimmy Nair. Interesting thing. I put the Pro X intake valve in my 350. The Pro X had more carbon stuck on it than the Del West. That's interesting. That is interesting. I wonder if it's a coating on the valve or if it's the material. Okay, Keith. Silly question. The training oil in my 300 can go for hours and hours and come out pretty clean. My kid 85 had 3 hours and it looked like crap. So a lot of that depends on clutch use, Keith. If your kid's going and like hammering on the clutch, that's one reason it would come out looking like crap. Also, if it's an older 85, if it's maybe leaking a little bit of on the right side seal combustion, like anyway, it could be leaking a little bit there and like not enough to really suck a whole bunch of training oil, but enough to make it dirty. The kid is on the clutch. Yeah, there you go, Ryder. So Clark Cast, I love my aftermarket Wassner piston when I had my KLR 650. Yeah, Wassner seems like a really good company for pistons for sure. Let's see. Someone asked me about EBC OEM brake pads versus aftermarket, EBC or other. Brett, so brake pads to me, it's all about the feel of the brake pad, and then how much they squeal. I don't love when they squeal a whole bunch, but I also, one of my good friends who's really, really fast, he's like, I love it when my brakes start to squeal because that means I'm going fast. So, whatever. But EBC brake pads are pretty good. They're not terribly expensive. I've had some of them, depending on the material that you get, because you can buy different materials, chew into the rotor a little bit more than others. But then that goes with stopping power, right? Because the more aggressive the pad, the more it's going to wear into the rotor, but the quicker it's going to stop. Like I don't like double H pads, because the red ones on anything, because they take too much pressure to really bind. A lot of guys like that, especially street guys like that, because you can like just really feel the brake and tell exactly how much it's braking. I don't have that. I don't have that problem on dirt bikes. I just want the thing to stop as fast as humanly possible. Dave Kessler, forged pistons are stronger but require more piston to cylinder clearance. Yeah, that's why, because they expand. And Dave Kessler, yes, that the aluminum is going to be different, and I would imagine probably the composition of the aluminum and then just the forging process makes it different than casting, for sure. So my favorite, let me just quick plug, not being paid by anybody, but my favorite brake pads, honestly, are DP. I really like DP brake pads. They're really good pads. They don't squeal as much on other things and as other pads, and I like them a lot. They hold up well, they brake well. I just like DP pads a lot. So there you go. DP clutches also, like I've seen problems with EBC clutches. I haven't seen a lot of problems with EBC brake pads, but EBC clutches, they're I don't know, they're not that great, but DP clutches are brilliant. Hey, what's happening, Mike Cole's vids? What's happening, dude? How are you? Are you quarantining somewhere in your van? I hope you are, and riding lots. If you guys are watching for the first time, or not even the first time, if you're watching, hit the like button. Also, if you haven't subscribed yet, doink, hit the subscribe button. That would be awesome. I've melted EBC reds and turned them into EBC yellows. Yeah, Jimmy. The reds, like I said, the guys, Dave Kessler, that's funny. I haven't actually put washer in anything, and I would imagine that they're absolutely for. I mean, I think they say around them that they're forged. And like I said, some guys like forged pistons. You just got to get the thing warm for it to expand and fit right. And if you don't have a really high quality build on that piston and you don't have everything dialed in, that could equal not awesomeness. It could either get too big and seize, or not big enough, or maybe it doesn't expand in the right way. If you think about it, it's got to expand, like it needs to expand nice and like round, right? You can't have like hot spots, like in a section that's thicker and aluminum and so it's got to do well. But anyway, Anthony Holder, there we go. Put some anti-seize at the back of the pads. It helps eliminate squealing. Right on. Good to know. I like I said, I don't worry too much about it. Mine don't start squealing until I start going fast and hammering on the brakes. But and again, it makes me. I remember getting passed by Scott Bright, who's a very fast local guy here in the state. Not here on Montrose, but over on the Front Range. And anyway, Scott's really fast, and I remember. We're on the rotor with no squeal. That is awesome, Jimmy. Oh, that is so good. And I remember him flying by me and that bike going like everywhere around the track, and I'm like, well, clearly fast guys brakes squeal, and that's all there is to it. So I don't worry about it. I just make sure my brake doesn't fade. That's the important part. The solution, by the way, for KTM rear brake fade, which I think we all would agree is a problem if you try to go fast at all, is the brake cooler from System Tech Racing solves that problem. Roger Hurd, I like it. Don't use the brakes and they won't squeal. The coward's lever, as it were. Let's see. Other examples of OEM versus aftermarket. Crankshafts. Here's one. Wiseco crankshafts are junk. I will never, ever, ever, ever put another Wiseco crankshaft in anything. Ever. I put one in 65 or an 85. Anyway, a mini bike, and the thing, it didn't even make it out of my shop before the lower end bearing started coming apart, and it definitely had oil and the gas and all that stuff. And it started knocking. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. I sent it back. I got my money back. I put an OEM crank in it. It worked fine. Steve Copley, ever see many issues with the KTM 500s, Husky 500s? No, not many issues at all. If you take very good care of those motorcycles, as far as air filter and oil changes, they'll last a very long time. I actually really like those bikes. I would not mind having one. I think they're great. And they're not that heavy compared to a 450 or a 350. I mean, they're just a great bike, and they've got 6 gears that go down the road really good. If you can find an XCW, now, the 2020, they started making the XCW, and then whatever the 501, not the S model, is really good. Wow, Steve, 5,000 miles for $5,000 for 4,000 miles. That's awesome. What? Thanks, COVID. Yeah. Oh, I love it. That is awesome. Yeah, you got to see the bright side, right? I love it. I like to thank COVID for the low fuel prices, because ethanol free 91 now is like 250 or 240 something here, which is like $1 cheaper than normal. So that's awesome. What year, Steve, on that 500? Doesn't matter. They're all good. The 20s are like even better. They put 17. Nice. Great bikes. The 20s are awesome because I don't know if they redesigned the chassis, if they're just using the chassis from the SX or something. Anyway, whatever. They just feel even lighter and smaller, but with all the love. Sweet Recluse and left-hand rear brake, right on. If you've watched much of our stuff, you know that I don't love the left-hand rear brake, but I know a lot of guys that do. So that's awesome. If you're into left-hand rear brakes, that's cool. And I don't know which is it, the Recluse or, hey, there's Eric Cans here. What's happening, man? Hey, Eric, I've got that black disc guard on its way. Hopefully, I'm probably not going to see it this week. It'll be first of next week. Dave Kessler, fast guys have their brake squeal so they don't have to yell at you to go by. That's for sure. Yeah, Roger Hurd. Gas under $2. Our regular, I got gas at City Market with the discount, the fuel point discount, for $1.49 a gallon. It was awesome. I'm super stoked. Yeah, Dave, I agree. Like, hearing brakes go behind you makes you get out of the way real fast. And you feel like a squid, because you're like, think you're going fast and you're like on the gas and they're on the brakes, and you're like, wait a second, I don't get how that works. Nice. 129, Rob McCauley. Where are you, Rob? With 129 gas. I don't know where you're located. I don't know. I haven't bought gas in a while because I filled up and I haven't gone. Oh, Ohio. Nice. I'm from Oklahoma originally, and I'm sure gas there is dumb cheap because it's always way cheaper than everywhere else. I remember as a kid, that 2 gas companies like Texaco and Conoco would get into, a match over who had, these gas wars, and like across the street from each other, and they'd go down. They go way under $1. It was awesome. 99 cents, right on. I know where you are. You said IX, not Texas. Anyway, yeah. Kansas $1.74 for sure. I haven't, like I said, I got to get gas this morning, so I'm gonna find out. Clark Hess, nice $1.87 in Buena Vista. Clark, do you know Matt Simpson? Um, oh, Steve, that sucks. 290 in Oregon. Oregon is like the most like liberal, like communist state. I don't know. Maybe that's not true, but it's how I feel. Morgan Hunt, how much do you charge for wheel truing? It kind of depends on how bad the wheel is. Hang on, I'm gonna close this. It's like, boom, there we go. Still with the, there we go, maybe. There we go. Depends on how bad the wheel is. Worst case scenario is at 135, hour and a half. So, the Steve, fair enough. We got that here in Colorado too. But Matt Andreas, $1.89 over there, right on. Clark, good to hear you riding with Matt. He's a good kid. So yeah, wheel truing, and actually the guy Zach, who's working for me now, I'm pretty good with wheel truing. Zach is brilliant with wheel truing because he's a bicycle mechanic originally, and those guys are like anal about wheel truing because you can really feel it on a bicycle. And anyway, he is brilliant at truing wheels. So if you need a wheel true, let me know. Bring it on over. We can do it. Yeah, he does a bang up job on those. Like I said, I think I do a pretty good job too, but not as good as him. It's always good to find. I like to feel like I'm the worst mechanic in the room. I try to find people who are better than me. I mean, like I said, I like to think I'm pretty good, but my goal is to hire people who are way better than me. Do a ripping good job. Let's see. Ohio sucks. 21 degrees and snow today. 7 wrecks on the way to work. Black ice everywhere. Rob, that sucks. Ohio, yeah, I wouldn't choose to live in Ohio at all, ever, especially after living out here. I mean, like I said, grew up in Oklahoma City, and it was a nice place to grow up. It's a nice place if you want to build a business or do things like that because it's relatively inexpensive, and they're very open to businesses, and they want to help you grow businesses there and all that. But when it comes to having fun and riding, not so much. Western Colorado is still really good. Rob, Ohio's good for leaving. That is so good. Oh, I'm so sorry, but that's funny. 67 cents per gallon the other day on the Indian Reservation in Western New York. Holy moly, David, that's awesome. Again, it's still not worth living in New York, personally, but because it's all private land. Yeah, Ohio is a good place to be from. Same with Oklahoma. Although I don't know, we go back every year to race, and I obviously go back and see my folks. And man, there's some awesome places in Oklahoma that I never got to ride because my mom, who's watching, knows that my parents were not into dirt bikes at all. We lived in the city, and it was there. So my mom, she's chiming in because I said something bad about Oklahoma. But see, here's the funny thing. So while my mom's watching, I'm so that you guys know she's watching, and I'm not like bluffing on all this about being against or for Oklahoma. They like my parents every vacation, like every real vacation. We did like little weekend trips around Oklahoma, but every vacation was to the mountains. Every one of them. We went to Florida twice, and that was terrible. Well, it wasn't terrible, but anyway, Florida's boring, sitting on a beach. My family doesn't sit well. We do things, but every other vacation was the mountains to go fly fishing or skiing or hiking or mountain biking or something. And so they put it in my head that I needed to get out of the state. So, Mom, it's your fault, not my fault. You and Dad did it. See there, she says true. Let's see. Ohio's bad, but Indiana, that place will suck any hope from your soul. That is awesome. Jimmy Dacey, hey, what's your process for cleaning chains? Do you replace the master link O-rings every time you remove the chain? Great question, actually. Very good question. So, Jimmy, I don't do a whole lot of chain cleaning. Like, I don't go nuts on cleaning chains. I like to use really high quality O-ring or X-ring chains, and then I like to take good care of them. And I have found that uh, if you use decent lube and you take halfway decent care of them, you don't really need to clean them unless you just don't like the way they look. But if they're all gunky and stuff on the outside, I use WD-40. Just like go nuts on that thing and clean it up, and it'll actually clean it really well without drying anything out, and then re-lube it. WD-40, by the way, not a good lube for your chain. It's just really good at cleaning stuff. If Jimmy, if I do remove the chain to like do, I don't know, a motor rebuild or something like that, and the chain's not worn out, by the way, usually when I'm like rebuilding the bottom end or something like that on a engine, I try to talk the guy into just doing a new chain and sprockets, unless it's like new. But anyway, but if I do that, I definitely replace the O-rings and stuff. And actually, I just do a new master link with new O-rings. Let's see. Every vacation was dirt bikes, Roger, for sure. Here we go. Dirt Rider 83 having problem finding rear caliper rebuild kit and hose for an 02 KTM 65 SX. Any idea where I can find them? Not or OEM or aftermarket. I mean, I would imagine. I don't know. I haven't looked for that. I'm not on the normal Parts Fish site. I'm guessing you've looked at the Parts Fish and they're discontinued. If that is true, that sucks. One thing I would do, Dirt Rider, is because probably OEM is the only thing you're going to find, realistically. So what I would do is get the part number, because you should be able to find the part number online, even though like it may not be showed as a orderable part from any of the OEM manufacturers. Rob, don't say that. If it's a good bike, keep it and fix it. But that is funny. I would find the part number, and then I would call your local KTM dealer, or if you don't have one, call Munn Racing. They're in Texas. They're awesome. But call a KTM dealer and have them dealer locate it, because there's probably some dealer in the network that has one sitting on a shelf that would love to get rid of it for cheap. So that's what I do when I find discontinued parts like that. I just start. I have my local dealer. I deal with Davis Service Center here in town, and they will dealer locate one on their interwebs and usually find me one. If it's super hard to find, you're gonna have to go to eBay, and then it gets, it can get crazy trying to hunt that stuff down. Let's see what else is going on. Questions, guys, keep firing them at me. We can hang out a little bit later today, because I can. Roger Hurd, buy a Kawasaki. I like it. As far as 65s, I absolutely agree. Buy a Kawasaki, 100%. Morgan Hunt, I have not. Well, I've been to Virginia as a little tiny child. I've definitely not ridden there. I'd like to get back east and race one GNCC at least in my life. Tim, how's it going, dude? No Pro Heroes. Don't want to pay $244 for OEM front brake hose, so I bought a $50 aftermarket. However, the aftermarket hose is CR style, so I have to reroute it differently than OEM. Have you run into this? Yeah, dude. And actually, that's what I like to do on the older Yamahas. In fact, I'm going to do that on my kids' 125. Is I'm going to get a new CR style brake hose and route it differently, because I like that way better than the stupid long. Anyway. And I'm never going to pay $244 for a brake hose ever. Galfer makes really good brake hoses. So yeah, Dirt Rider 83, do that search. You might find something. Rob McCauley, new YZ65 is super good. I like those bikes a lot. Good racing in Virginia, yeah, for sure. I need to. I don't know. It's a long way, right? I mean, it's like 2 days worth of driving almost. I know it is 2 days worth of driving for me, and I live in dirt bike paradise, so it's kind of hard for me to go that far. Um, Aftermarket CR style routed brake hose keeps getting chewed up by my rotor. So you're gonna have to. I think you can buy the newer style fork guard that has the holder for it on the correct, where it's supposed to be, and it'll solve that problem. I think it'll bolt right up to that lower fork lug. Because I've done that. I had a 03 WR 250F that I did the CR style, and it was awesome. See, Craig, Michigan has some great riding and racing too. Yeah, I know the Upper Peninsula, I'm sure, is awesome. Dave Kessler, I don't have any input or tips really on the Tour of Idaho because I have never done it, but I can say from friends of mine who have done it, they say it's awesome, and I highly recommend it, and it's definitely something I'd like to do eventually. No pro. Yeah, I think, like I said, I'm pretty sure you just buy the right fork guard and you'll be good to go. I think that'll solve your problem. Otherwise, you can get you can get creative with ways to attach it to the fork guard, the one that's on there, but it's not. The problem is you've got the old style with the clamps anyway. So, but trust me, it works. You can do it, and it will be. I think you get better braking with the CR style. So that's why they all switched over when the Honda patent ran out in 04 or 05. They everybody switched over to the CR style. Let's see. Limey, I used to live in Virginia and Kansas. There, yeah. Mike, snowing. That's no good. Roger again by a Kawasaki. That's awesome. I got like nothing but Kawasaki's right now. It seems like I got KDX 200, KX 100, and a KX 65. It's like nonstop. Less brake hose equal better feel, more power for sure. Dave, I agree. No pro. Tried a lot of zip ties, not working. Yeah, no, you gotta get a little more creative than that. There we go. Craig Hamilton, Lightspeed made carbon and plastic fork guard for that conversion. Cool. Thank you, Craig. But also, I think you can just buy the Yamaha, like the 05 fork guard. I think it will work. Barnado, I agree. Yamaha. Although tonight I think I will be riding the KTM. By the way, Thursday Night Ride, guys. Like I said, I'm not posting big events on the line because I keep getting crucified for going riding. I'm still doing it. I'm just not like broadcasting it quite as much. People are crazy. So I'm riding my dirt bike. You can't stop me unless you point shooty things at me. I'm no joke. Different bolt location. There we go, Craig. Thank you so much. I'm glad to know that. I wasn't sure. I know I did it years ago on that thing, so it was good. Barnado clutch gasket. Crap, I didn't have one. I'm sorry that I didn't remember that. I did not have one. I did look. I don't have one. So unfortunately. But dang it, I forgot about that. I'm sorry, Mike. You gotta like poke me a bunch because obviously I'm a distracted human with all this going on. Yeah, I think I'm gonna ride the KTM tonight because we're gonna go do some gnarly rocky stuff, and I'm excited. I know, Mike. You can borrow my clutch cover off of my YZ. I'll let you do that if you come and get it. I'm happy to do that. No, they didn't talk about the fat bike. My fat bike right here. My girl Svetlana is her name. Roger heard poke the bear. Yeah, this is my Specialized fat boy. It matches me, and I love that bicycle so much. Eric, I know you were thinking about getting one. I like that one a lot. I spend a little bit of money on bicycles, not a bunch of money. I can't do the whole crazy $5,000 bicycle thing, but I will spend a little bit of legitimate money on one to get a good one that doesn't break. Let's see. If the KDX fork guards to do the KLX swap won't work. Also, the KLX fork guards are complete. Yeah. So Zeb, KX fork guards, right on. Sweet. That's good to know on the KDX. Dave Kessler, yeah, I know my bad wrist doesn't love not having suspension on bicycles, but I really don't ride bicycles in rough stuff. I keep it on relatively smooth dirt trails. Because of that, and because I have a dirt bike to go fast on trails. And for me, bicycles are more about exercise and just being outside. I love riding a lot. Riding out in the open air, no one around, has to be worse than sitting in a neighborhood full of people walking around. Come on, people. I know that, Rob, I'm with you. People are ridiculous. I'm over it. Dave, my mountain bike, I have a 29er. It has I've got forks on that, but they're cheap. They're not that. It's a nice bike. It's a Salsa, but it doesn't have great forks, and it's okay. Yeah, Dave. So you mentioned that. Yes, the suspension is the tire pressure for sure, but I actually run a lot of pressure in my tires on my fat bike because when I run it low, like a lot of guys do. So actually, let me back up. When I ride in the snow, which I do a lot, I run super low pressure so I can float on the snow. When I ride in the dirt on the fat bike, I run more pressure than most because I don't like the way the thing handles with that low pressure in the front. It gets all crazy. Single speed mountain bike, cheap, quality, and condition. I know. One speeds are awesome, Tim. I have seriously considered putting a one speed on my 29er, and I keep bailing because I'm soft. And one of these days, maybe I will. Yeah, Dave, it's like riding a mad marshmallow. It is, and it's like you can't turn it. I don't know. So I run more. I run like 12 to 15 pounds in that thing, which is actually a lot. Peter Klassen, good day. Paul Anstey in Canada said to say hi. Claims he knows you. Yes, Pete, he does. Through the internet, but yes, he knows me. He's supposed to be out here riding last week or week before, and unfortunately, the COVID's got a hold of that. Roger, ride the lift up to race down for sure. I can't. I mean, I'd love to try that on a full suspension mountain bike. That'd be a lot of fun. Because I mean, seriously, come on, flying downhill on a big marshmallow would be a lot of fun. Yeah, I love riding bicycles. Love it, love it, love it. It's in here actually because Leia, who's right over here, doesn't totally love bicycles because she's been hit by a couple. Me and my older son have hit her because she was barking and she got anyway. So she still goes riding with me, but she's like kind of like timid around it. So I brought it inside. This is where she eats her food, and I put it here so she has to like be around it, and so she gets not so afraid of it. Because it's sad, but it's kind of funny. Like she'll go, like you load up and go ride, and she does, and it's all good. But hanging around them, she doesn't love. Yes, fat bikes matter, 100%, Eric. I agree. Yeah, I love bicycles. Anything with two wheels is good. All right, guys, I had better get going. I got to swing by the Zeb. Is it still free at Telluride? Because it was, but then it wasn't going to be, I thought. Yeah. Oh, David, I'm telling you that, like, she is super smart, and it's funny. Like, she doesn't like hanging around them close. It's funny. Like, but we're going to get over it. And it's funny, like, because when we ride, she will be right there next to it, no problem, and we're moving and everything's good. And she'll bark in the front of it and still and all that. But as soon as I stop, she's like, I don't know. So we're working on that. Barnado, get to work for sure. All right, guys, I love you so very much. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for watching these shows. It does mean an absolute ton to me. You guys are great. Punk Rock Club, thanks for sticking around to the end. If you haven't hit the like button, do it. That makes me happy. It's also super good for our channel. I love you so much. Get out, spread the gospel of two wheels, and please, 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 please go ride your dirt bikes!